Everyone, it's Erin Taylor, your dish diva, coming to you from the Black Women's Health Imperative. For our next series of the episode Snack and Chat, we are going to be talking all about spinach. And joining me today is Rachel Mason, or Mason Davis, right?
Right.
Did I say that correct? Okay, I was like, wait, Mason is in there. Rachel Mason David from Perfect Lifestyle. So she's a lifestyle coach with our partner organization, Perfect Lifestyle, for the CYL Squared program. Change your lifestyle, change your life. So, welcome, Rachel. How are you?
All right. Thank you, Erin. Thank you for having me here. And I'm excited to talk about spinach
Yay,
and to
spinach.
share, right? And to share my dish.
Yeah. So, what did you bring today to share?
So I brought it's like a pico de gallo I substituted the cilantro for
Okay.
spinach.
Oh,
So I cut my fresh spinach up and put it inside. And I added avocado, tomato, lime, everything else, but it's spinach instead of cilantro.
ooh,
And I
nice.
didn't whip it. I tried to keep it like my avocado whole.
I
So,
see.
yeah.
Yeah, I like those nice big chunks in there, so you can like just bite it instead of just
Right.
having like the mash.
Right. And I made some homemade corn chips to go with it.
Oh, nice. Very good. And how did you make those?
With I have an air fryer,
Uh huh.
and I actually they have corn tortillas about this size,
Yeah.
25 calories each.
Nice.
Yeah, yes, I've been using them, found them at HEB. And I just cut them up,
Mhm.
put them on the air fryer pan, sprayed avocado oil,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I sprinkled a little sea salt
Okay.
for
Well,
the
and
next.
that's, I mean, what a great way to make your own chips, right? And then they're much healthier than you get in the grocery store.
Right,
Well, no, that's awesome. I love it. And so you're just using that as a dip for your chips?
right. Just that. And something like this, me, I would eat this for lunch. Might not eat all of the chips, but I would eat it for lunch because I have my spinach, have my corn chips,
Mhm.
tomatoes,
Mhm.
and since I'm vegan, I don't really eat meat. So this would be a perfect dish for as a meal or
Yeah.
as a snack. Someone
That's,
can eat it as a snack.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then and because it's like it's got, the healthy fats in there, you're going to have a little bit of the higher calorie count in there as well. So that works very well. It can work as a meal, right?
Right, because if you if you eat this and then a meal,
Yeah.
too
That's a
many.
lot.
Right. What I would
Mhm.
do is put beans in here for a protein.
Mhm.
Not beans, of course, but like a garbanzo bean. I would
Yeah.
actually add that in there, and it will be a complete. Because I'm missing protein. That would be a complete meal with the protein.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that. It sounds yummy too. I mean, I'm obsessed with a lot of food. I know I say that a lot when I'm doing these recordings, but I love avocado so much. So I like the way that you kept them cubed like that too, because it makes you feel like you're eating avocado as opposed to just some dip that happens to have avocado in it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I love that. And I like the play with the spinach because some people don't. Not everybody likes cilantro.
Right.
It's one of those things where people like say it tastes like soap.
Because I
Yeah.
didn't care for cilantro at first, but I like Mexican food,
Hmm.
and I didn't care for it by itself. And
Mm.
then I started mixing it, and I was eating it in Mexican food. Like I don't like it. But eventually, I'm like, oh, that's cilantro with that lime. Okay, so I keep cilantro in there and lime. They like go together.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're dealing with some Latin cooking, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I understand that whole. I like cilantro, but I've had people that just really are disgusted by it. So I love having that um adding in something different. And spinach is so high in nutrients. So
Right.
that's awesome. Well, what I brought today is I made a little bit of a let's see, it's a spinach pesto.
Oh, okay.
So it's pesto generally has like basil,
Mhm.
parmesan cheese, pine nuts, and garlic and olive oil. So with this one, I made it with spinach instead of basil, and so I still have the parmesan cheese in there. Pine nuts are really expensive, so I use just a little bit of walnuts.
Mhm.
So, and then some olive and a garlic clove and some olive oil, and you just put it in a food processor or blender and just blend it up. I did add in some red pepper flakes because I do like a little spice in my life. And the way I enjoy this, like, you can put it on pasta. You obviously, I mean, that's kind of the most obvious choice, but you can also use this as a spread. You can see it's a little thick there. You can use it as a dip, or you can use it as a salad dressing. So what I'm doing today, I've got this little plate of this is me cleaning out my fridge, right? So I've had some roasted or some sauteed mushrooms, some roasted Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower, roasted broccoli.
Okay.
And so I'm just gonna spread this right on top of and just enjoy it like that. That's just gonna be the flavor
Oh,
component for this little snack here. And then I love red onion. I love having a bite of raw red onion on there. So I have some raw red onion that I cut up in there as well. Um, but you know, I'm all about just kind of adding lots of flavor to my food. So
mhm.
even if I had a little bit of flavoring already on the broccoli, this will just kind of help it out a little bit more. So it's really tasty. Although I think I did not give myself a fork to
Oh,
make
that
eating with my.
sounds good and nutritional.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I think like sometimes the basil can be hard to find or it can be expensive if it's out of season. Like, you'll see a lot in the stores when it's like spring, summer,
Right.
but during different parts of the year, it could be a little more scarce. So spinach just is a great way to just add it in there. You'll get a different flavor profile.
Hmm.
Um, but because, like I said before, the spinach is so high in nutrients, like you're getting still a lot of the nutrients into this little
Right.
green dip, and it's so flavorful. Hmm.
I like basil.
Yeah.
So
Well, if you
yeah,
don't like basil, yeah,
yeah.
that's perfect. Because the thing about basil is, again, like with those herbs, they're leafy greens too, kind of like spinach is. So what spinach is leafy green, but the herbs are the same way, and
Right.
they contain a whole lot of nutrients as well. But they definitely are, something that you have to enjoy. Because
Right.
if you don't like basil, then you're not going to like pesto. You don't like cilantro, you're not going to like, some of these other dishes that contain cilantro. So really important to kind of tweak it in a
Right.
way to make it
That's
your
about spinach though. Spinach,
own.
because
Mhm.
some like basil is strong, regular is strong, cilantro, some of those are so strong with taste. Spinach is so mild. So
Yeah.
you can substitute spinach in a lot of stuff. Like stuffing. One of the things, a lot of you go to a restaurant,
Hmm.
they stuff spinach in meat, stuff,
Hmm.
I know fish or pork, they'll stuff spinach in there
Yeah.
because it's such a mild. That's why I love spinach. It takes the flavor of whatever, but
Yeah, exactly.
it's not strong. Now, when it's cooked, it might have. I think it has a stronger taste. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It tastes a little different when it's cooked. It
Right,
definitely does. Yeah. Because I think when you're enjoying it, like say in these things where we've mixed it in there, it's going to take on the flavor of whatever we have mixed in there. If you eat a salad, you tend to have other things in the salad, as well as a dressing. So it kind of, you don't get the full flavor of it. But then when you cook it, it sort of breaks down like some of the like sugars and other things in it that will give it a different flavor. It's like carrots. Like carrots take totally different
right.
raw versus cooked.
And see, I like carrots cooked because spinach. I don't know if you remember pie spinach in a can. That was my favorite. That's before I was tasting fresh spinach. We didn't have a lot of money, so we didn't do a lot of fresh. So we did pie spinach. I just love pie spinach. And then frozen kind of came along before that. But once I tasted fresh,
It was a wrap.
it's like, oh, this is what this is supposed to taste like.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you mentioned Popeye too, because that's the reason why I ate spinach. I mean, I
Hmm.
love that. I love that cartoon, and so he was eating it, and he was getting big and strong. So I was like, I got to eat my spinach. So, so I remember eating it younger, and it was always cooked spinach. Um, but I remember eating it younger, and like, okay, this is what I got to do. I got to eat some spinach because I need to be strong. So it's amazing how some of those things have the influence on you.
Right. And you didn't quite know the nutrients. You
Mm-mm.
know it did that, but no one explained why.
No, no. I was waiting for my muscles to pop out,
Right.
like, I'm gonna eat it. Where are my muscles?
And that's what's so good about the internet now. You can kind of look up stuff, read stuff. Okay, this is why. Because spinach, as I was looking, it has a lot, helps with your immune system, and
Mhm,
which is good, energy and
mhm.
skincare and blood pressure and muscle.
Yeah,
I didn't know it did. I know the iron, but I didn't know how much it did because most people pumped up kale.
yeah,
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 kale.
for the iron and even like the calcium. So, but like the spinach contains like iron and calcium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and lots of fiber, which we
Right,
all need. But I mean, it's got like things like folic acid and
right.
K1, which helps with blood clotting. You've got the iron in there. You've also got like magnesium. I mean, it's so, that's why we talk about it being a superfood because it contains so many nutrients.
Right.
And whenever I'm eating, I'm always trying to figure out how can I get more nutrients in this one bite of food? And if you think about that, then you're giving your body what your body needs, to survive and
And
be healthy.
that's what I teach my participants.
Hmm.
Make sure whatever you put in your mouth it does something. So
Yeah.
don't eat anything if it's not doing it. It's not doing it. I know my corn chip here, but like a potato chip, it doesn't do anything. Right. So
Yeah.
make sure, be mindful. And,
Hmm.
I'm going to eat this because it's even with my tea. If I drink tea, I make sure it's a tea that's doing it. I don't drink plain old Lipton.
Exactly.
I'll do a herbal that does something.
Yeah,
You
lift my immune system, give me some something, something. Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah, and that's a good way of thinking too. And I know when I've done like my Dish Diva episodes, like a lot of people are like, "Oh gosh, she's always doing like this plant-based stuff." But I like to think of the vegetables first because that's where we're getting the bulk of our nutrients, and then you can build in the meat. So like build up these vegetables, figure out a way to get all these vegetables and these herbs and you know a variety of them in, and that way you can always add meat. Adding
right,
the meat is easy. But it's the vegetables we need to get more of, not
right.
more of the meat, right?
But we build our plate around the meat though.
I know.
It's
I
like
but
we
that
think of the main item and then what we're gonna have with it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's just
Exactly. And I tend to do a lot of like one pot meals.
hmm
So and then it becomes because it's easier just to kind of have like something big and everything's already in it. And then I can, because my husband sometimes I'll do like meatless Mondays or, just have a vegan day. And he's like, okay, where's my meat? I'm like, okay, I made some chicken, I cut it up in there, or there's some beef sausage in there. You can put it in here. So if I'm making like beans and rice, he has some sausage he can put in there. I'm
right.
cool with just eating the beans and rice. So yeah, it's like I said, it's easy to add in the meat. But
Mm,
yeah, I think we're so trained at like thinking about, okay, what's gonna be our protein and then what are we gonna have with it?
right. What's wrong with because I like my vegetables. Like right now I I'll just whatever's out there.
Mhm.
So right now I have squash mixed with broccoli, mixed with spinach. All three.
Yeah.
I just put them together. And I pretty much just steam them, put them together, and I sprinkle sea salt at the end. I've learned that if you season at the end, you
Mhm.
don't need that much seasoning versus seasoning through the whole thing, and you continually adding more salt,
Yeah.
because some of it's boiling out.
Yep.
I just season at the end, just a sprinkle, and you just need a little bit,
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
little something, a little salt taste on your tongue. That's all. So that's what I've been doing. I've mixed okra with zucchini, with broccoli. I mean, I just mix vegetables, whatever I have, whatever's on sale. Because you have something in your head, but you get in that grocery store that's not on sale.
Okay, what can I do instead of this?
Right. So when I get in there, I look at what greens are on sale.
Mhm.
That's how I buy, and I just mix it. And I started at first. I was doing separate, And I'm like you, I did one pot, and that was one pot for him, and I just put it together. My husband likes it.
Yeah.
My daughter, we don't worry about her. She's 14. I can't satisfy her.
That's what you make, right?
It's like, just eat the greens and keep on going.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that idea. And you mentioned that you were a vegan too.
Right.
How long have you been vegan?
It's been about 5 or 6 years. We
Okay.
started. I did Weight Watchers for a little while, and it was steps. Being vegan or plant based is steps. I didn't. Most people don't wake up unless they were raised up that way from their parents.
Right.
But it was baby steps, eating healthy and
Hmm.
cooking healthy. Learned a little bit with Weight Watchers, and it's a lot of processed foods. I'm like, cut out some of the processed foods.
Yeah.
And I never did not too much low carb. Just okay, let me cut out this oil. Then my cholesterol was high, and I was thinner. My
Hmm.
cholesterol was high. I'm like, huh. So just start reading. Okay, it's those eggs that I like, but they were like 1 or 2 points on Weight Watchers, so I could eat a lot of them. So,
Right.
okay, so from that point, I had to monitor. Look at what I was eating.
Hmm.
Calories isn't everything.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True.
It's important, but it's not everything. You can get a 0 calorie soda. That doesn't mean the soda's good for you.
Yeah.
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 And we watched the video that what the health like everybody else. It's like, oh, okay. And we done the Daniel. I don't know if you've heard of the Daniel fast.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
We did that, and it's like, okay, it wasn't so bad, and we felt good. And
Yeah.
one of my feet swells a lot, so it didn't swell that month. And I saw changes in the month to stuff that had been ailing me.
Hmm.
It was gone. And I'm like, what did I do different? I cut out processed foods, I cut out the sugars,
Yeah.
those that cut down on the meat. I'm like, oh, okay. And from the Daniel fast, plant-based, and actually my family, me, my husband, my daughter, when she feels like it, but me and my husband, we're full. Because it helped him too, because he had the pre-diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol.
Hmm.
So once we start eating this way, it's like, okay. And we just feel better. Not that it's the only thing, but my body like it.
Yeah.
And I
And
don't
I was
want
able.
to. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, no, go ahead.
I'm just saying I'm not going back.
Right. Right. I get it. I get it. And and I mean, I know that there's some education that needs to happen when you want to go completely vegan, because there are some things you'll be missing out on,
Right.
like the B12.
Right.
So just making sure you're supplementing with those kind of things that have B12 in it. But I know because I've known so many people who are vegan, but all they ate was like junk and processed foods. So I mean, you can easily be a vegan but still be an unhealthy vegan, because there's so many products on the shelf now that are like vegan. This is vegan. This is vegan. You can eat chips. You can eat potato chips. That's vegan.
But that's the difference between vegan and plant-based.
Yeah. There you
So
go.
plant-based is better than vegan, because vegan, I can eat an Oreo. I can eat rice and potato all day long. And
Yeah.
you will be diabetic. You could be diabetic eventually doing that. But that's why it's more plant. But I learned that. See, I already grown from that with the Weight Watchers and the Daniel fast. That's why I said it was a
It's a
process.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're also missing omega-3s. You said B12 omega, which is important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really
Studies
important.
shown without the omega-3 Alzheimer's, and that was quite a few vegans. So no, it's research it. And I told my doctor, I told his doctor, I keep my doctor abreast of every. I don't lie to the doctor and the mechanic.
Right. Those are two things that you need to be on point with.
And I told them what we were doing, and both of them were okay with it. And we take a multivitamin, I think, and then I do take an addition like omega-3. I take omega-3 and a multivitamin just to make sure that B12 is in there. And they have plant-based multivitamins that are full of B12 because they know what you're doing. So yeah, but yes, I wouldn't jump into it without researching. This took us a minute to just research and study before
Yeah.
we did that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would definitely say consult the doctor like you did, just because
Mm-hmm.
you want to make sure you're getting like tested to make sure that your levels, like your nutrient levels, are at a good level. So you're not deficient in iron or
Mm-hmm.
calcium or whatever the case may be. All of these things that you need, vitamin D, you just want to make sure those are getting checked regularly just to make sure you're getting the stuff you need. You'll probably definitely see a difference with like things like cholesterol or blood pressure, like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of plant materials. And I think just overall, though, I mean, if you look at every diet that's pretty much out there, they're pretty much telling you not to, well, almost every diet, they're pretty much telling you to eat real food, right?
Right.
Minimize the processed food, minimize the sugar, eat
Right.
more plant-based. Like, I mean, because again, that's where you're getting your nutrients from. And so I think that's why I always focus on the vegetables first, the plants
Mm,
first, and then we can think about the meat, you
right.
know? Yeah.
Because the DPP does that. It's half a plate of vegetables,
Yeah.
fourth meat, a fourth, and you're right. Most is going. They're just not going to say, and which is you don't cut out because we teach that not to cut out stuff because you will find this if you cut something, you're gonna
Hmm.
find yourself loading up somewhere else.
Yeah.
You will.
Exactly.
I'm not
Exactly.
eating any carbs. Okay, but then you're going to eat extra meat. You're going to make up for it somewhere.
Yeah.
That's why you have to be careful. Because I did it. This was I did it. I loaded up on bread and sweets,
And that doesn't really work.
until it kind of leveled off. But you will if you when you and think about it. When someone tell you you can't do something, you
Right.
do it.
I'm a sure dumb.
Yeah,
Yes. I know. Why are we like that?
that's because we can't. But if they tell you to do it, no, that's okay.
Well, this has been a good conversation. Well, before we get off though, I want to see like since we were talking about spinach,
Mm-hmm.
like what else do you use your spinach in? Like where else do you get spinach?
Listen, I love spinach dip. I like your idea of the spinach pesto,
Hmm.
and I pretty much just eat. I like to eat it in salads with the strawberries and the red onion that you have.
Yeah.
I like to eat it in salads, and I
Mhm.
love eating it in smoothies. Like we were talking earlier, spinach just makes a good smoothie for me, better than kale or spring mix because it's the mild taste. So I think you can load up on. If you don't taste it so strong, you can eat more of it. So
Mhm.
I put a lot in my smoothie because I don't taste it. My
Yeah.
fruit, the fruit takes over. So I really love it in smoothies.
Yeah. I mean, that's a perfect way because then you don't even like if you don't like spinach too, you can put it in there and
Mm,
it's sort of hidden. I mean, your smoothie might be a little green, but so you kind of know it's in there,
yeah.
but you will not taste it. And I mean, you can test levels. Like you can do a small handful and then you don't taste it, add a little bit more. But I mean, I'm saying like grab a whole handful and just chuck it into that blender and blend it up. And once you put that fruit in there, if you have like a protein powder or something you're using, or if you're putting like, some nut butter in there, like all of that stuff is going to help. Or if you're putting like um, cacao powder or raw or
Mhm,
cacao
mhm.
powder, and there it's going to cover it up. So, and if you're adverse to green smoothies, I would say put in some cacao powder.
And you know what's good too? I freeze your spinach. If you freeze fresh
Mm,
spinach, it crumbles up.
yeah,
A whole lot of it crumble up real small and put it in the smoothie. And you probably ate about 3 or 4 cups and won't know it.
right. Well, and then it doesn't go bad either, right?
Nope.
You just put it in the freezer as soon as you get it.
Like as soon as you get, I was gonna say, as soon as you get it, pop it, get the stuff that's washed already, but fresh. And then
Yes.
that's what I do. I pop it in the freezer and
Yeah.
crumble it up.
You just like flatten it out in a Ziploc bag or something. And then, yeah, I've done that before too. And then you just have it ready to go. You don't have to worry about it being bad. You don't have to pick through the rotten leaves. And that drives me crazy. But no, that's such a good idea and a good tip for everybody that's listening. So, make sure you guys are eating your spinach.
Wow.
These recipes will be attached to when I post this on the BWHI app. So if you are seeing this outside of the app and you want the recipes, be sure to download BWHI app, and you will find it in the Healthy Eating with Dish Diva community. But all right, well, this has been a great conversation, and Rachel, thanks again for joining me. I hope that everybody has a wonderful rest of their day, and I hope you get a lot more spinach in your life.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Bye.